Hello there everyone. Today I've come out to Santon Church in Norfolk, which is a place we've investigated a handful of times over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. First time was back in 2017 with myself, Sophie, and we were joined by Eddie Mallet, who's performed probably, I'd imagine, in excess of 100 investigations here. And we were really impressed with what we recorded. We had some fantastic EVPs. That's a possible voice. We had a camera that we had placed in the chancel that was turned off by itself. The actual power switch had moved. There was sounds of knocking. There was basically all sorts going on. And we returned in the day with James and we recorded an EVP there as well. But during the day it was fairly quiet, to be honest. And since then we came back about 2 years ago, did another investigation, and we had a few bits happen, but it wasn't anywhere near as active as the first time. And I've since done a handful of other investigations, and it's been very hit or miss as to whether we recorded anything. However, I thought I'd come back today and do a daytime investigation here. I've got a few bits of equipment with me, my magical box. So I'm just going to spend an hour or two in here, see if we can pick up on anything. Hello, my name's Luke. I've visited this church a few times before. I haven't been for a little while. Just wondered if there's anybody in here with me. Reverend Kendall? I've got a device up in there in the chancel with a red light on. Is there any chance you could come over and move around that, touch it? There's a metal rod coming out of it, can you touch that? No, you're fine, you're fine.
Just taking some photos.
Yeah.
A lovely little place.
And there we are. That's another reason why, generally speaking, we don't do as many daytime investigations, because there's a lot more people about. I think only once I've had someone come up here at night. It just makes it easier during the day because you haven't got as many people visiting places. Anyway, I'll crack back on. It's quite a busy train track nearby as well. I don't remember it being that busy last time. Maybe it's just busier during the day. Is there anything you can do in here for me? Make a little noise? Can I hear your voice? I'm just going to do a quick scan around with EMF, see if there's any fluctuations. I have done it before here, and from memory I don't think there were any unexplainable readings or any weird readings. Obviously there is the train track, so I'm just going to try. I've never tried it with the new tri-field meter. I was trying to think of its name then. I've never tried it with the new tri-field meter, which is a little bit more sensitive, so I'll just do a base reading and see if there's any anomalies, and then we'll know then if there are any spikes. We'll know that there shouldn't be any. Currently at 0.1, fluctuating between 0 and 0.1, which is extremely normal. That's about average everywhere I go with this. there anybody in the chancel? Did you used to worship at this church? There's a lot of insects in here. I keep hearing the sound of flies buzzing about us. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but nothing I can do about that. Yeah, it was around this area when I first came with Sophie and Eddie that we heard twice, I think it was, the sound of a lady speaking. Could never decipher what she said, however it's obviously possible. It might be Old English, in which case we wouldn't be able to understand it anyway. But yeah, that was around this area by the door, somewhere around this back, near the back pews. Both times we heard it, so it's very unusual that all three people, or everyone present at a place, can hear voices. Sometimes it's one person or a few, but both times everyone could hear these voices clear as day, and we recorded them. So yeah, they're some of the best EVP I've recorded, definitely. But that's the only time. It's just that first visit we recorded the sound of a lady talking, and then never been able to do it again. Love the ceiling in this place, I must say. Obviously, that's really nice. Is there anyone at all in this church with me? And please give me a sign. Anything you can do. So I think what I might do now is just sit down for a little bit, take in the atmosphere, and just wait and see if anything unusual happens. But anything at all you can do for me in here, please? I know that nowadays you get quite a lot of people visiting here and trying to communicate with you, trying to interact with you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it probably gets maybe quite boring for you, having people constantly coming and disturbing you. So I'm completely aware that maybe you don't want to talk to me. But even if that is the case, could you give me a sign to leave you in peace? Are you buried somewhere around here? Or maybe you worshipped in this church in days gone by? What year were you here? What year is it for you now? At the moment it's 2021 is the year. I'm sure a lot of time has passed since you were of flesh and blood. So I've been sat in here in absolute dead silence for a little while now, and I've kind of got acclimatised to what the normal sounds are. Outside there's a lot of sounds of birds, you get the occasional train, sometimes there's people walking past, but as for inside, the only real sounds are the occasional little knocking sound, which I'm sure is probably caused by it being just an old building and the sun's out today, so it's probably just, expansion and contraction in the heat. The sound is the sound of flies buzzing about, but other than that, it's silent in here. Because every time I come as well, I try and think, the voices we heard, what could have caused those? Is there anything rational? And every time I come here, I come away still thinking, no, there isn't anything, that could even resemble the sound of a female voice. But even then, there's so much other stuff we had happen that particular night that a lot of that would defy all logic. The camera turning off, for example. And interestingly enough, both times we've been here with Sophie, she's had to leave the church for a bit because she felt so sick, and I've investigated with her for 8 or 9 years now, and it's very rare for her to have to leave a place. You know, she might feel on edge in places or feel not particularly, pleasant being there, but very rarely does she actually say I have to leave. And both times it's been here, and that seems to be a running theme in this church, is it seems to be women or females are most targeted with the haunting. Why that is, I don't know. Whether whoever the ghost is here has an attraction to women, or if he doesn't like women, but it does seem to be a running theme. And like I say, both times with Sophie, that's certainly backed up that. So it appears to be very, very quiet here today. I've not felt anything, I've certainly not seen or heard anything unusual. Obviously I've had a few people wandering on me, probably wondering what the hell I'm doing, but it does make it a little bit difficult, but it's it's nice to see people coming and visiting places like this. It's because if they weren't, these sort of places would just become derelict and forgotten, so it's great that people do come and visit and have a little look inside and have interest in this sort of stuff. But yeah, as for anything paranormal or strange occurring, I have to say, I don't know, I may have recorded something on camera that I'm unaware of at the moment, in which case you'll have already seen it. But certainly being here, I've not experienced anything I would say is unusual. Again, I very much doubt I've recorded something on camera, because a lot of the time you'll be able to feel the presence of something, where you'll feel a bit of an atmosphere building, but I've not felt any of that, so I very much doubt there's anything going on here at the moment. Whether it does come alive at night, or whether we're on just a down period, I think hauntings always go along with peaks and troughs. Maybe we're in a trough at the moment, and who knows, maybe once I've left, the activity will peak up. Again, we don't know how all this works, but certainly being here at the moment in myself, very, very quiet, unfortunately. I would certainly come back and do a nighttime investigation here, but I don't know if they lock the church up. I certainly know they discourage and don't want people coming here at night during the summer months, because they've got, might be long-eared bats. One species of bat they've got that are mating in the church, and obviously if you're here at night you'll disturb them. So they don't like people coming here in the summer months. I think October, the church opens back up at night. So yeah, I can't do anything in the evening at the moment. That's why I thought I'd do a day visit, but it's proved unfruitful, unfortunately. I think they've just heard someone else arriving, so I'm going to pack up the equipment and call it a day here, unfortunately. Shame we didn't get anything, but yeah, I'll see you next week for a new video. Take care, guys.